Hi guys, this is Ekenedishku here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to solve algorithms using JavaScript. This is the Ekenedishku channel, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. I have a ton of content coming up soon. I've been recording back to back, so I am going to be dropping a lot of content coming up soon, and even this one included. So make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. And do not forget to click the bell icon so that you can always have uh, the videos pop up on your dashboard or be notified whenever I drop a new video. All right, so today we are going to be talking about how to solve algorithms using JavaScript. So, what are algorithms? Yeah, what are algorithms? A lot of people have been asking me, Kene, what actually are algorithms and how can we go about solving algorithms? So that is why today I'm going to be showing you exactly what to do and how to go about solving algorithms. So the big question, what is an algorithm? All right. So yes, in mathematics, and computer science, an algorithm is an infinite sequence of well-defined instruction typically used to solve a class or specify or specific problems or to perform a computation. According to Wikipedia, this is what an algorithm is. So, an algorithm is a finite sequence of well-defined instruction. Finite sequence of well-defined instruction. I want you to take note of this. Well-defined instruction, typically used to solve a class or specific problem. All right, so that is what an algorithm is according to Wikipedia. Then we also have a definition from Investopia.com. So, according to them, an algorithm is a set of instructions for solving a problem or accomplishing a task. One common example of an algorithm is a recipe, which consists of specific instructions for preparing a dish or meal. So, an algorithm is a set of instructions for solving a problem or accomplishing a task. And finally, according to the online dictionary, it said that an algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculation or other problem solving operation, especially by a computer. Good. So we have been able to define what an algorithm is. So basically, an algorithm is a step by step process to solving a particular thing. As easy as that. Sounds simple, right? But it really is simple once you understand what you have to do. But if you do not understand what you have to do, it won't be simple. So an algorithm, the big word that most people are always scared about, an algorithm, it is basically a step-by-step process to solving or doing a particular thing. Let's say I want to make a bar. We all know what a bar is. So let's say I want to make a bar. What are the processes? So first of all, I have to have the ingredients or the tools or the equipment or the items that I need to do or make that eba. And I also need to follow a step-by-step process on making that eba. Now, let's say we have our gari, we have our bowl, we have our toning gari, we have our hot water boiled at 100 degrees. We are set. Yippee. Now we're ready to go into making the eba. What do we do next? All we need to do is now either we put the gari in the bowl and then pour the hot water into it, or we pour the hot water into it first and then put the gari into the bowl, depending on the style or the process you want to follow. So everybody has their own method of solving algorithms, as long as at the end of the day you get the desired result that is required for that particular problem. So basically, algorithms are a step-by-step process into solving a particular thing. All right. So that is what an algorithm is. and we are going to be using JavaScript in working with algorithm. So JavaScript is a language, the programming language for the web. But it's not only confined to the web, because JavaScript is used for a lot of things now, the front end and back end applications. JavaScript is widely used, and JavaScript currently is supposed to be on the top 10 list of programming languages. So it is worldwide known, and they are paid, JavaScript developers are paid very well for it, as long as you know exactly what to do. Yeah. So before we move on, the links, all my links are at the left hand side of this thumbnail. My Twitter account, my GitHub, my Facebook account, my LinkedIn, very important, my personal website, ekededishku.info, and this YouTube channel's link. They are all at the left hand side of this thumbnail. So make sure you follow me. Make sure you send me a friendship request. I want to see more of you. I want to be friends with more of you. I want to connect with more of you. So once you subscribe, or once you share my video, once you like my video, make sure you follow me. I'm looking forward to following you. Watch this video to the end so that you could get the most out of it, for those of you who are trying to understand what algorithms is. All right. So let us dive in. We are going to be solving a couple of algorithms, and we are going to be doing that. There are two ways to actually solve algorithms. It's either you make use of the text editor, which in my case it is known as VS Code, or you make use of the console. So basically, the console is one of the tools provided by the Google Developer Tools. And the Google Developer Tools is a section in the Chrome browser that allows developers to be able to manipulate data and correct data if they need to. It is very important that you understand about the Google Developer Tools. And in another video, not this one precisely, I am going to be showing you exactly what to do and how to get to this particular place. Or I'm going to be showing you what to use, or how to use or make use of the Google Developer tools to make your development or coding or programming much easier and better. So without much ado, I'll be going to clicking on the console here. And as you can see, this is the console. Here we could write whatever code we want to write. We could say 1 plus 1 and press enter. It automatically gives us 2. We could say 5 minus 3. We could do any mathematical calculations here, and that will give us 2. So for this course, I am assuming that you have fully, or even not fully, you have understood the basics of JavaScript. Now, when I say the basics of JavaScript, I'm referring to, you should understand what a function is. You should understand JavaScript data types. You should understand if statements. You should understand for loop, and you should understand what an object is. Although I'm still going to be explaining as I make use of those items, but if you do not understand some of them from the beginning, you would have to wait for my, you could still go through this video and watch it, but then you still have to also watch my JavaScript video so that you could understand more better what you should be doing. So yeah, this is more about algorithms and how to solve them. So that's what we are going to be focusing on, and we're going to be doing it on the console. So let me remove this and let's start all over again. So there are more than about 3 ways to be able to get to your Google Developer Tools. The first one is the longer method. You click on the button here, you click on more tools, hover around more tools, and then developer tools to take you to the console directly. Or you right click on the body of the web page and then scroll way down to inspect and click on inspect. And it also does the same and takes you to the console, to the Google Developers tool. So you can click on the console and we are ready to begin. All right. So now our field, our environment is ready to take in our code. What are we going to be doing today? Good question. So how to solve algorithms using JavaScript? We have a couple of problems that are here. We want to, first of all, reverse a string. So in order for us to be able to reverse a string, we have an input, ekene, and this input should return an output known as eneke, eneke. All right, that just sounds funny. So it should return an output from ekene to eneke. Okay. Then number two, calculate the factorial of a given number. So input 4 should return an output of 24. Number three, check the total number of words in a camel case. So if this is given, this is my function, then it should say the total number of words that are in this function. Like you see, this is one, is one, my is one, and function is one. So that makes 4 words. So you should uh, give out 4 as an output. Then finally, create an object to hold the number of times a character in a string repeats itself. So my output, my name is a Kennedy School, should give all this with the highest being E, 4. So if we count E, you can see the first is here, 1. The second is here, 2. Third, 3. And the last here, 4. So good. That is what we are going to be doing. We are going to be doing reverse a string. We're going to be reversing the string. We are going to be calculating the factorial of a given number. We are also going to be checking the total number of words in a camel case. And we are also going to be creating an object. So for those who do not understand, a camel case is the way JavaScript is inbuilt in JavaScript. So what does a camel case mean? Okay. So for example, if I should write a function declaration, a function declaration is a function that has a name attached to it. It's declared because it has a function. It has a name. The function has a name which can be called later on. So that's what the function declaration is. So that's basically what it is. So let's write function. Now give it a name to make it a function declaration. Let's say my function, and you open your parentheses and open your curly braces. Open your curly braces. So this basically is a function itself, a function declaration. And after this, for you to be able to call this function, you have to my function to call it by using its name. If you don't do that, you won't be able to do anything with that function. You won't be able to get results from that function. So camel cases are basically a way of writing the names of a particular function. For example, if you can see here the way my function is being written, the first word is always started with a small letter, while the word after that starts with why the word after that starts with a capital letter. As you can see, my function, the F here is the only letter that it's on capital letters. So that is how a camel case is written, and basically what a camel case is. So if I'm to write something else, let's say something else. Good. So this is another example of a camel case. The first word, something here, is they're all in capital letter, followed by the second word, else, which starts with a capital letter. So do not always, do never forget that is what a camel case is. So a camel case basically is starting a a sentence with all small letters, and then the next, sorry, a word with all small letters, and then the next word should begin with a capital letter. Basically, that is what a camel case is. All right, so that is that for camel cases. So let's dive into what we are supposed to do today, and those are solving algorithms. So the first thing on the list is reversing a string. Yeah, so this can be very useful at times in applications when you want to do some certain things. Maybe you want to create a password and then automatically randomly pick these letters from those passwords. So all you need to do is then reverse the string and then move forward with what you're doing. So we are going to be reversing a string right now. So let's get into that. Open your console. Remember that for you to be able to open your console, you just have to right click on the body of the website and then click on inspect. But before you do right click on the body of the website, please open Chrome. You have to open Chrome browser. Very important. You have to open Chrome browser. I don't want to see anyone commenting that I did not tell them to open Chrome browser. So please open Chrome browser first. I'm on Chrome browser. Then after opening the Chrome browser, the next thing you need to do is right click and go way down to the last option and then click on inspect. And then you have your developer tools ready to function for you. Click on console and we are here. So paste that back. All right, so we are going to be reversing a string as the first thing. So let's change the name. It's very important that the name of your function is connected to what you're doing. So we reverse string. So this is a camel case. Very, very important to know. This is the camel case notation. The first word is always, always in small letters, while the next word, the first letter of the next word begins with a capital letter. Good. So we want to reverse a string, right? Let's say our input, let's say, let's call our function reverse string. Let's call our function. Now, we are going to have an argument inside this parenthesis. There's always an argument inside this parenthesis that will be passed on here. Let's say, what do we have there? Ikene. Good. So we always have an argument that is being passed on as input. So this is where the input would be. The input is going to come in through here and be passed into this place. So let's say name, or let's call it string, str, string. So this is referred to as the argument, which will be passed into the name of that function and which will be used inside this function itself. So we're passing in a kine, which should be passed into the string, and then that string will be used in this place. All right, so we want to loop through, I want to loop through the string in order to be able to reverse the string itself. So for looping through the string, I'm going to be making use of the for loop. There are different ways of looping. There's the for loop, there's the for each, there's the for in, and there's the for off. So which of them you prefer is the one you should use, the one you're more comfortable in. But I think many of them have their individual differences. They also have their individual differences, even though they still do the same thing. So this is how you write a for loop. You write the word for, you open the brackets, let I equal to string str dot length minus one. Okay, let me just finish with this, then I'll explain what I'm actually doing. Then I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. All right, so what did I do here? So what I just did was create a basic for loop. So I want to loop through the string and start from the ending of the string. So that is what I was able to do. That's what I just did now. So basically, I wrote the words for in JavaScript. JavaScript automatically knows that you are trying to create a loop. So I said let I equals to string dot length minus one. Now, what does this mean? I means initializer. Where am I starting from? Where do you want this loop to begin? So that is what I is referring to. So this first statement here, let I equals to string dot length minus one, is the initializer. Where are we beginning from? Where is the loop going to start running from? Okay, so I is equals to string, which is this string, which is passed into this argument. String dot length. Now, dot length is a built-in method in JavaScript that shows you the number of characters in a particular string. So if I say dot length, length will give me 5. If you count it, you see EKENE. 1, E is 1, K is 2, E is 3, N is 4, and E is 5. So we have 5 characters inside this string. So that is basically what this means. Okay? So string.length is trying to calculate the total number of characters in a particular string. Sorry, the total number of characters in a particular string. That is what string dot length is saying. So once again, let me show you what the minus one does. So minus one basically says I want to be starting at the end of the string. So irrespective of how big or how long that string is, I want to pick the last index, the last part of that string, the last character in the string. Okay. So yes, let me show you an example. Let's pick this. Let's say Ekene does length minus 1. Enter. 4. So the last character is at position 4. So because even though the string has 5 characters, every string in JavaScript, even arrays, they begin their indexes by from 0. They begin counting from 0. So this first E is at position 0. This K is at position 1. The E is at position 2. The N is at position 3. And this last one here is at position 4. Although there are 5 characters, the indexes of the string is different. So you need to understand that indexes and characters are different. There are 4 indexes in this particular string, Ekene, but there are 5 characters in this string. So characters starts to count from 1, while um, indexes starts to count from 0. Always remember that. So let's do something else. Let's say, what are we going to add? Let's say Ken. I love my name. I love my name. So let me use my name since nothing else is coming to my mind. For now, AKENEBILICHUKWU. So length will give us, oh, okay, I made a mistake. I spelled that wrongly. My bad. I spelled that wrongly. Okay, let us do that again. Length. Good. So we have 15 characters in Ekene Delishukum. 15 characters. Good. So we want to find the index of the last character. So the index of the last character is 14. So whenever you say again string dot length minus 1, you know that that basically is the last index. You are looking at the last index of that particular character. Okay, so let's copy this. Let's paste it again and yeah, let's work. So let I equals to string dot length minus 1 is referring to that particular character at the last of that string, at the last position of that string. It's referring to the last index of that string. And for this, it means that we are beginning at E. We are beginning at E and running down to the first string in that, the first character in that string. So I, the next statement says I is greater than or equal to 0. Now this is where it's telling it to stop. Okay, it's telling it to start somewhere and stop somewhere. So we have said it should start at the last index of that particular string, which is I is equal to string dot length minus 1. Then it is stopping at the first character of that string, which is the index 0. I should be greater or equal, as long as I is greater or equal to 0. So I should not be less than 0. So it should not go below 0. Then we have I minus minus, basically meaning decrement I, reduce I. So at first I was at index 4. After running it, reduce I. So let me console log this so that you see exactly what I'm saying. Now console log is another inbuilt function. So console.log is another inbuilt function. String I. Okay, so it's giving us k. It shouldn't be giving us k. Let's see what the problem here is. Let's see console the log I. Good. Okay. Okay. So 43210. So it has run through from the last part of the string to the first part of the string, and it has given us each of those things that are each of the indexes in that string. Okay, so let us remove this and now see how we could solve this. Let's remove this and see how we could solve this. All right. So what do we want to do? That's the first thing to do. Always ask yourself, what do you want to do, or how do you want to reverse the string? So do we need to create a particular holder, a particular variable, or a particular container for storing what we are sending out? So let's say let result equal to an empty string. Let result equal to an empty string. Always remember to close your statements. Always remember to close them. Okay, let result equals to an empty string. So now here we can say result plus equal to string at position I. Result plus equal to string at position I. So that is what we are going to, that's what we are, that's how to actually do it. But now it's showing us undefined because we have not returned result yet. So it's showing us undefined here because we haven't returned the value, we haven't returned anything. So let's copy this, and then what's wrong with me and my spellings today? Return result. So basically what return result is saying is that you should return the value of that particular variable that you are looking for, and then stop at that line. That is the function to stop running at that line. So that is what the return does. It's a method that is also in JavaScript that allows you to bring out the value of a particular variable when you are done writing your algorithms. So return result is always to bring out whatever the value is in this particular string. So if what you are returning is outside of the loop, you have to put your return outside of the loop. But if what you are returning is going to be inside the loop, you have to put your return inside the loop. So as we move on, we would understand all that. So let result equals an empty string. This is what an empty string is. It means there's nothing in this string. So I could put A, I could put another A, I could put F. But now this is no longer an empty string because we have characters inside the string. But this currently is an empty string. So I have explained the for. So let's explain the result. This line of code here, let me explain what that means. So what I'm basically saying is I want to add the value of the string, the character that I have looped through and gotten from string. I want to add them to result. And the best way to actually do that when you are working with strings is to concatenate it. So concatenation is basically adding two things together using the plus sign. So that's what concatenation is. So I want to concatenate all those things together into the variable result. And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you click on enter and voila, Eneke is shown here as our result. So this is what it's shown here, Eneke. So this is our output. So if we run anything, let's see if we can run something else. Control Z. Let's see if we can run something else. Let's run Genesis. Let's run Genesis. So what I'm basically doing is passing in string Genesis into this argument of the function, and then it will first of all create a result, a variable with an empty string. After creating it, it will then loop through this string by initializing I to by initializing I to string.length minus one, and I've explained what that means. String.length minus one means it should start at the last index of that particular string. So it should begin at the last index of the particular string. Then I greater than or equal to zero, I greater than or equal to zero means that I I should not be less than zero. So you should loop through it and stop at index zero. That is the first character of that string. Okay, so I minus minus simply means that decrement. After looping through the first, go to the second, go to the third, go to the fourth, and so on and so forth. So this is a reverse loop. Is what is actually used for a reverse loop. So when you want to do a forward loop, you use a different syntax for it, and we'll solve that later on. So result, you can see that since I have already initialized result here, I've already initialized result here, I can now call result here, and result plus equal to means add concatenate the value of string at position I to result. That is what that line of code is simply saying. Add that value to result. Concatenate it to the previous value of what result is. So this is basically the same thing by saying result is equal to result plus string at index I. This is basically the same thing. So if you click on enter, you will see that it has looped from the back, which is SISENEG. So it has looped from the back and got into the front. So this is basically what how to reverse a string, and our time is fast spent. So basically, this is how to reverse a string, and this is the part one of how to solve algorithms using JavaScript. So I am grateful that you have gone through this journey with me. I look forward to showing you more in the next section. So watch out for the next section. And for that to happen, you need to subscribe. Yes, very important. It helps me and it also helps you a lot. So subscribe to the channel so that you always get my videos whenever they are uploaded on on YouTube. And remember to click the button, the bell icon, so that you will be notified whenever I push up any video to my YouTube channel. So Thank you for walking on this journey with me. I am Ekenedli School, and this is the Ekenedli School channel.